What's up, you guys? Roman Gonzalez here. Today I'm going to be talking about two lenses, the Canon 50mm 1.8. Give you guys a nice little look at it there. Throw it back on my T6i here. By the way, all of the equipment, the lenses, the cameras I'm going to be talking about in this video are linked in the description. It is an affiliate link, so if you click on it, if you buy it, I get a little kickback. That is one way that you are able to support me. Another way you can support me is by liking this video. Hit the subscribe button so I can continue to bring you guys awesome content and we can build this community together. I'm looking forward to growing with you. Let's get right into it. To use this lens on my Canon M50, I do need an adapter. I've got a Canon brand adapter on this camera. Never use a speed booster on it. I'm not saying you should or should not buy a speed booster. I just don't use one. I didn't find it necessary. This is my first 4K camera. Having not shot anything 4K, this was the camera I was using before that, the Canon T6i. Doesn't shoot 4K. I have a bunch of awesome videos, music videos on my channel with the T6i. If you want to see some of those, just search Roman Gonzalez T6i music video. Initially bought a knockoff, like a third-party version adapter for this, but it broke within like a few months. I just opted to, you know, spend a little bit more, like another $100 and get this Canon adapter if you're looking to use Canon EF lenses on the M50, which I do recommend you do. The EF lenses are fantastic. This definitely was the first lens that I bought for my T2i after upgrading from the kit lens. You know, I was done with the kit lens. The aperture didn't go wide enough. I just needed something more, right? So if you're looking to upgrade from a kit lens or you're looking to buy a body with a lens that's affordable, this lens is by far the best bang for your buck you can get. I believe it's $150 new, and you can find a used one, great condition. They're very durable, even though it's plastic. You can find a used one for like under $100 for sure. It's got autofocus on it, it's got manual focus on it, and it goes down to 1.8. So I'm gonna whip open my M50 and we're gonna jump into this camera so I can show you what it looks like. So I've got an autofocus right now. The autofocus is working great. It's at 3.5. My ISO is at 500. So I'm going to bump my ISO down a little bit, let a little less light in, and then I'm going to bump my aperture down to 3.5. I'm going to bump my aperture down from 3.5 all the way down to 1.8 so you can see that crispiness. Oops, I'm going to flip it into manual focus. See that crispiness of how sharp it is. Get that a little better. So there's 1.8. You know, I can show you, bump it up a little bit more. Here's 2.5. Bump the shutter down a little bit, let some more light in. Still incredibly sharp. I'm gonna take it in a little bit closer so you guys can actually see how the detail works. So I'm at 1.8. See that fine detail? I just got that leaf in focus. Nothing else is in focus. If I bump the aperture back up to 3.5, obviously it gets a little bit darker. Drop the shutter down. I'm shooting in 4K right now, by the way. So there's an added crop factor. There's a crop factor just from it being over the crop frame sensor, and there's another crop for shooting in 4K. So I'm gonna switch over. Now we're shooting in 1080, so it's a little bit wider. Definitely something to note is the crop factor when you're shooting on this. On the M50, I think it's closer to a 70mm lens. I know somebody's gonna check my math in the description. Go for it, check the math, do your math, know your math. I just estimate because I just do. I just look in the frame and I can see like how far I am. There is a crop factor up to about 70mm, and I'm guessing when you throw it into 4K as well, then you're looking at more like 80mm, 85mm. This, like I said, it goes down to an aperture of 1.8, and this retails at like $150, right? Now what I have on here is the Sigma 50mm 1.4. It goes a little bit wider in aperture, get a little bit more of that bokeh, get that depth of field. It has autofocus, it has manual focus, the automatic f-stop. Let's whip it out and see what it can do. We're in autofocus, shooting at 50mm in 1080p at 3.5. We can bump it all the way down to 1.4. You see it lets a lot of light in when you bump it up like that. So I'm just gonna crank my shutter a little bit just to drop the amount of light that's let in there. So this is looking very sharp. I can personally tell the difference in the sharpness. Let me move a little bit closer and get this shot, so I can kind of mimic the shot that we were seeing, right? So I'm gonna throw it into manual focus. Boom, that's pretty nice. Throw it into 4K mode so we can see what it looks like in 4K. at 1.4. Look at that, very crisp, very sharp, very nice. I definitely am kind of seeing a little bit more of a difference. I'm seeing some more sharpness in this shot. Let's go ahead and just bump it up a little bit, bump up the aperture a little bit, go up to 2.8, shooting in 2.8 now, and it's very sharp, still very sharp. I actually didn't think that this lens would look so much sharper than that one, because that is an insanely sharp lens, especially for the price. I freaking ride or die for that lens. 50mm 1.8 that I had before this one, it broke. I dropped it, so I ended up getting this one as a replacement. I found it a good deal. I think I got it for like 400 bucks on Craigslist. Definitely this is a pricier lens, but you're gonna get more sharpness, you're gonna get more durability. This one isn't, it might be plastic, but it's definitely more durable, it's bigger, it's heavier, so you're gonna get more, you're gonna be able to get more stability doing handheld. Let's just do a straight autofocus test, because I'm just kind of curious how the autofocus responds between that camera and this camera. I'm just gonna throw them on here and just do a little bit of a test jumping in front of the camera and seeing how fast it can catch me. So let's do that at 1.4. So we got the autofocus on now. Back it up. Hello, hello. I'm gonna jump out of frame, jump back in frame. How's that focus look? It's a little bright. This exposure is tricky right now, but yeah. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. Let's try a different type of focus. Jump over into, now I'm in zone autofocus, right? Pretty quick. Pretty quick. All right, that's at 1.4. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the other lens on now. So we got zone autofocus on. If you like this shirt, man, check it out. There's a link in the description. This is my brand, Stay Confident. You gotta stay confident at all times, baby. Hop out the frame. Hop in the frame. Ooh, that was pretty quick. What's up, what's up, what's up? Let's try the face tracking. All right, now we're back to face tracking. Ooh, that's nice. I think the autofocus might be a little bit better on this, just because it's a Canon lens and you get like that split second of lag just from working with the third-party lens. For me, I'm not a huge user of autofocus, but for you, that might be a deal breaker. Also for the price, man, you can't beat it. Another thing that you should know, it does vignette on a full frame, especially when I'm shooting in 1080, there's a little bit of vignette. And when I'm shooting photos, there's a massive vignette when using this lens. So take that for what you will. This is not a full frame lens. I didn't know that when I got it. Of course, I was shooting on the crop sensor. I was shooting on my M50 at the time when I bought this lens, and it worked great, worked fantastic. It added some good weight to it. I shot my first like mainstream artist. I shot a concert for K. Michelle. Like right when I was first getting started, I had a blast. This lens is awesome. It's super useful. I'm not knocking it at all, but I don't believe it is made for full frame use. Just like my Sigma 18-35, which I'll be dropping a review on soon. And I might be giving that one away. Maybe it might be a little giveaway in the works. Celebrate my 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for getting me to 1,000. Go ahead. Thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. Do you want to say hi?
Sure.
This is my little brother, Omar.
Hello. I'm going to go viral now.
Okay, get out of here. Get out of here. So this one will vignette on a full frame while the other one won't. Can't really like advocate and tell you and say like this one is better than that one. This one is obviously more expensive than that one. And there's all sorts of other 50mm options if you're looking for Canon. I personally love Canon. If I'm not gonna go with Canon, I would go with Sigma. But honestly, I'm shooting this on a Tamron right now on my EOS R, and Tamron is really impressed me by stepping up their game, especially with the second generation of lenses. Tamron has awesome sharpness for a fraction of the price of a straight Canon lens. But there also is a Canon 1.2 lens, which runs I think about $1,200. That's an L series lens. It's 1.2. super fucking sharp. If money is no object, you want to get that lens, the 1.2 Canon L series. There's also an ultrasonic lens that looks a lot like this one, Canon ultrasonic. It's around the same price range. It goes down to 1.4. Also an extremely sharp lens. You may see a little bit of a difference with the autofocus speed, just like with the example I showed. Most of the times when you're using the manufacturer lens on the manufacturer camera, you're gonna have a faster response time with the autofocus. That's just the way it is. But yeah, man, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys want to see any other types of tech reviews, or you want to know how I do anything, tutorials. Let me know. Drop a like on this video. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. How do you feel about a 50mm? Do you shoot on a full frame, a crop frame? What is your experience with 50mm lenses? I love them. I don't tend to use them as often as I used to, but I definitely want to get back into it, especially since I'm shooting with a full frame. I want to take some of those portraits. 50mm is supposed to be like the sweet spot for what looks like the human eye as far as portraits on a full frame. So I definitely want to shoot more with my 50mm coming soon. Appreciate you guys. Peace. Stay confident, baby. I'm holding my tripod like all the way out. It's a pretty good selfie stick. Hey, buddy.